Hey guys, together with my friends Marcela and Jaylen Ramos, we're going to explain
The types of sentences.
and the types of clauses.
First, we need to see what is a clause. A clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. They can be divided in two types. The independent clauses that are complete ideas that doesn't need any help to be completed, and the dependent clauses that are incomplete ideas that needs the help or either a subject or a predicate to be complete thought. In today's video, we're going to see the kinds of clauses. There are three types: the adjective clause, the adverb clause, and the noun clause.
First, we're going to start with adjective clause. What's an adjective clause? It's a dependent clause that modifies a noun. So, how we can identify this adjective clause? It starts with related pronouns that are who, whom, whose, that, which, where, when. And to know how is an adjective clause or to identify it, you need to ask what kind or which one. Now, let's start with some examples. The girl who won the contest is my friend. Who we're talking about? The girl. And as a related pronoun, the clause it starts with who and will end when it talks about something else or there's a linking verb. So it will be who won the contest. Now, in the next one, we have the book that you gave me is interesting. What we're talking about? The book. And we will identify the related pronoun that is that. So, that you gave it. As we see, there's a linking verb, so we stop there.
Next, we're going to see what is the adverb clause. And what is the adverb clause? The adverb clause, as a normal adverb, modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb. And it always starts with subordinated conjunctions, like because, although, if, when, while, since, before, after, and unless. How do we identify them? We need to ask ourselves why it happens, when it happens, how it happens, in order what condition does it happen. Here we brought some examples. The first one is we stayed inside because it was raining. Here we already underlined the adverb clause, that is because it was raining. And because is that subordinating conjunction. And the clause modifies the word stayed and answers the question why. Why we stayed inside? Because it was raining. When the bell rings, the class ends. The adverb clause is when the bell rings, and the subordinating conjunction is when, and modifies the word ends and answers the question when. When does the class end? When the bell rings.
The noun clause acts as the noun of the sentence, but it is still a dependent clause. So, how can we identify it? We need to have a good eye because it shows a relationship with the related pronouns in subordinate conjunction. Here are the main words that are commonly used as in a noun clause. That are that, what, whatever, who, how, why, if, whether. Well, and a noun clause can be also a subject, object, or complement. And to identify it, first we need to take off the noun or replace it, and then we need to read the sentence to see if it has sense. If it does, it means that you're correct. Now, let's see some examples about noun clause. What you said was true. The key word is what, and the noun clause will be what you said. And it's a subject because first it's in the start, and it's what the sentence is about. Now, let's see the second example. I don't know why she left. It will be why, the key word, and why she left will be the noun clause. Now, as you can see, it's followed by noun, by no. So, no will be the object. Why? Because it's a verb.
Now we're explaining the sentence structure. What type of sentence structure? Okay, simple sentence, compound, complex, and complex sentence. The first one, simple sentence. The simple sentence has one independent clause. An example is the dog bark. Maria and Juan played soccer. How can we identify them? Because they express a whole idea, not more and not less of them. The second type of sentence is the complex sentence. That it consists on two or more independent clauses that are joined by families that are for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Or it could be joined also by a semicolon. Some examples of compound sentence could be I want to go out, but it started raining. We identify the two independent clauses that are joined by colon and but. She studied hard. Semicolon, she passed the test. The both independent classes joined by a semicolon. Third type of sentence is the complex sentence. It consists of one independent class or one or more dependent classes. Some examples of these ones could be: the movie was great, even though it was long. The movie was great is our independent class. Even though it was long is the dependent one. Because I was tired, I went to sleep. Because I was tired is our dependent class. And I want to sleep, our independent class. Fourth type of sentence is the compound complex. It contains at least two independent classes plus one dependent class. An example: when the rain stopped, we went outside and we played soccer. We identified when the rain stopped as our dependent class. And we went outside and we played soccer, our both independent classes. I like the artist because she's creative, but I don't like her new album. I like the artist, but I don't like her new album are the independent classes because she's creative is the dependent class.
Now, how do we solve these exercises, or how we identify the classes or the sentence? First, we identify the verb and the subject in each of the classes. Next, we look for connecting words like that, when, because, who, and that types of words. Next, we decide whether the clause is describing a noun, verb, or acting as that noun. There, we can identify what type of clause is. Then we determine if the sentence has one clause or multiple clauses to identify if it's a type of sentence, and identify whether the clauses are independent or dependent.
Now here are some exercises for you to do. Pause the video because we will show the answers in 3, 2, 1. Did you get it correct? Now we're gonna explain why it is. The cake that she baked smells delicious. It's an adjective clause. Why? Because it starts with that she baked, and it's describing a noun, cake. Now, when the sun rises, we will leave. It's an adverb clause because it starts with when, and will leave. It's a verb that modifies, and the noun clause is what he wants because I is the modifier here.
We have some practice questions for you to answer in your home. Identify the sentence structure. I invite you to pause the video because in 3, 2, 1, we're going to show the answers. Okay, so we're going to review why this or this. She likes reading and she writes stories. It's a complex sentence. Why is it a complex sentence? Because both of them, she likes reading and she writes stories, are complete thoughts, so they're basically independent classes. Because he was sick, he didn't go to school. Complex is a complex sentence. Why? Because it includes a dependent class and an independent class. I finished my homework. A simple sentence. It's a simple sentence because it only includes one independent class. I finished my homework. Although it rained, we went outside and we played. Compound complex sentence. It's a compound complex sentence because it includes there one dependent and two independent classes.
Hey, I hope you understand everything about this theme, and thank you for your attention.